In an ancient village nestled in a valley shadowed by soaring mountains, there stood an old monastery renowned for its wisdom. Here, a seasoned monk named Brotherly embraced a simple, contented life, for he was a living testament to the power of letting go. Visitors from distant lands traveled to seek his guidance in pursuit of inner peace. Scene 1. A bustling marketplace awash with the scent of spices and the clamor of barter. Brotherly pauses by a frazzled merchant, struggling with the weight of his goods. With a serene gesture and a kind word, Brotherly encourages the man to lighten his burden and focus on what truly matters. Scene 2. A dusty trail leading away from the marketplace. Brotherly continues his journey, unencumbered, humming softly, embodying tranquility as villagers greet him with respect. Scene 3. A courtyard filled with eager disciples awaits Brother Lee's teachings. He smiles, knowing that today's lesson will be transformative. Scene 4. Brotherly recounts the tale of a wild river and a swimmer fighting the current. Those who struggle against the flow exhaust themselves, he says, while those who release their fears are carried gracefully along its path. Scene 5. A young, ambitious farmer approaches Brotherly with tales of envy and the desire for riches. Brotherly listens intently, then shares wisdom about the emptiness of unchecked ambition, urging him to cherish simplicity. Scene 6. In the monastery garden, where flowers bloom amidst chaos, Brotherly plucks a withering blossom. See how even nature understands letting go to make way for new life, he tells a curious child. Scene 7. Evening draws close, and Brotherly joins a meditation circle, reminding his disciples that inner peace comes from releasing emotional grievances. Scene 8. A troubled young woman visits the monk, burdened by grief. Brotherly holds her hand and encourages her to accept her tears, for they too are a way of letting go. Scene 9. Under a starlit sky, Brotherly shares stories of ancient sages who found liberation not in possession, but in release. Scene 10. An artist struggling with self-doubt seeks Brother Lee's counsel. He inspires her to let go of fear, suggesting that artistic expression flows only when unchained. Scene 11. Dawn breaks, and Brotherly leads a gentle walk through the forest, illustrating how nature thrives by relinquishing control. Scene 12. At the riverbank, Brotherly demonstrates how stones, polished by water, illustrate the beauty of yielding to life's currents. Scene 13. Returning to the monastery, Brotherly pauses to watch a kite soaring freely in the wind, remarking to a disciple the beauty of letting go. Scene 14. Visitors now include a wealthy merchant seeking counsel on managing his fortunes. Brotherly speaks of fulfillment found not in accumulation, but in gratitude and release. In a quiet mountain monastery, nestled among the whispering pines, lived a wise monk named Tenzin. Scene 1. Tenzin sat in his meditation room, surrounded by the calming sound of a rustling cherry blossom tree outside the window. He focused on his breathing, embracing the moment. Scene 2. The monastery's young acolyte, Jamyang, approached Tenzin with a troubled heart. He had been distressed by a recent argument with another student. Scene 3. Tenzin invited Jamyang to sit beside him and encouraged him to share his burden. Holding on to anger, Tenzin said softly, "Is like gripping a hot coal, hoping to throw it at someone else. It only burns the one who holds it." Scene 4. Jamyang, eager to learn, asked how he could let go of his resentment. Scene 5. Tenzin explained the importance of acceptance. Accept things as they are, rather than how you wish them to be, he counseled. Let the river flow without trying to control it. Scene 6. Tenzin shared a story from his own past, a time when he struggled with letting go of pride. The experience taught him the freedom that comes with release. Scene 7. Intrigued and inspired, Jamyang asked for guidance on how to practice this wisdom daily. Scene 8. Tenzin suggested a ritual of writing grievances on a leaf and releasing them into the stream. Watch them float away, he advised, as a symbol of letting go. Scene 9. Jamyang began the practice, initially struggling but soon finding solace in the act. Scene 10. Tenzin observed Jamyang's growth, noticing that he was becoming more patient and serene. Scene 11. One afternoon, Jamyang witnessed the beauty of a butterfly gracefully taking flight, a living metaphor for the power of transformation when one lets go. Scene 12. Inspired, he ran to Tenzin, expressing his newfound understanding. Scene 13. Tenzin smiled warmly, recognizing Jamyang's progress and enlightenment. Letting go is not about loss, he reminded. It is about freedom. Scene 14. Months passed, and Jamyang became a source of calm within the monastery, sharing the wisdom he learned. Scene 15. During a gathering, Jamyang spoke to the community, encouraging others to embrace the teachings of letting go. In the tranquil mountains of Tibet, there was a revered monk named Jinpa, known for his profound teachings on acceptance and the art of letting go. His monastery, nestled among the clouds, was a haven of peace, drawing pilgrims and seekers from all corners of the world. Jinpa's teachings were simple, yet transformative, and his ability to illuminate the path to inner peace was unmatched. One day, a troubled young man named Tashi arrived at the monastery. He carried a heavy burden within him, tormented by a past relationship that had ended on a bitter note. Tashi felt trapped by the memories and emotions that lingered, unable to move forward in his life. Desperate for relief, he sought Jinpa's guidance, hoping to find solace in the monk's wisdom. Jinpa welcomed Tashi warmly and invited him for a walk in the lush gardens surrounding the monastery. As they strolled under the shade of ancient trees, Jinpa listened attentively to Tashi's story. The young man poured his heart out, speaking of love lost, hurtful words, and the resentment that had taken root in his soul. After Tashi had spoken, Jinpa paused and picked up a small stone from the ground. He held it in his palm and began to speak softly. Imagine this stone is your past, Tashi. You hold it tightly, carrying it with you everywhere you go. It weighs you down, limits your freedom. But here's the secret. You have the power to let it go. Jinpa extended his hand and allowed the stone to fall gently to the ground. The sound of the stone hitting the earth resonated in the silent garden. You see, Jinpa continued, letting go does not mean forgetting or denying the past. It simply means releasing its hold over you, freeing your heart to welcome new experiences and emotions. Touched by Jinpa's words, Tashi felt a sense of liberation he had not experienced in years. He realized that by holding on to his past, he was preventing himself from living his present and shaping his future. With a deep breath, Tashi closed his eyes and envisioned himself releasing his emotional burdens one by one, just as Jinpa had done with the stone. In the days that followed, Tashi practiced letting go with mindfulness and compassion, and eventually found peace within himself. He thanked Jinpa for teaching him the power of release, a lesson that would guide him throughout his life. Jinpa simply smiled, knowing that true freedom is found not in clinging, but in letting go.